Powered by the Montana Television Network. This is the 5:30 News on Q2, Montana's news leader.
Good evening, everyone. Thanks for joining us this Thursday. I'm Jeanelle Slade. Russ will join us a little later. Well, it's filled with local high school sports history. And now, is Billings ready to replace or renovate Dayla Stadium? It's where sports fans and families have cheered on local athletes for the last 90 years. And today, more than half a dozen officials met in Billings with thoughts on the next move and how quickly it might happen. Q2 Sports Director Scott Breen on this story today. Scott, I know this idea has been visited in the past, but how likely is it to succeed this time around?
That's a good question. It has been, just in fact, within the decade. They've actually talked about possibly a sports complex out on the west end of town. Now they're revisiting a variety of options. School District 2 Superintendent Greg Upham called today's meeting under the pretense that Dayla either needs to be relocated or upgraded. He wants to gauge interest in partnering opportunities. Now, 11 people were at the table today, including School District 2 folks, the city administrator, presidents from Rocky Mountain College and MSUB, and County Commissioner Dennis Pittman. Now, understand that these are very, very preliminary talks, just infant stages in what land could house a 6,000-seat stadium, a football field, a 10-lane track, plus possibly additional practice fields, a practice track, and maybe soccer fields and a cross-country course. Now, could the Metro Park grandstand area work? Maybe. Pittman says the county is already developing its own infrastructure master plan, though. MSUB is doing the same, but also has land available.
Well, I think the challenge for all of us is to break out of the concrete box that we live in and say, it could be MSUB, it could be the Metro, it could be somewhere else too. What I'm saying is these are our needs. We obviously need to address warm, safe, and dry, and Dayla Stadium is a large dollar item. And what I was after was to see if there was interest in partnering and collaborating to help share costs for our taxpayers. We're going to have to do something with it anyway, so why don't we do something smart with our entire community?
Next steps, determine interest in partnering, figure out facility details, and of course cost. Upham says funding would be requested in the form of a bond measure, but again, that's why he wants to partner, and that's at least a year away. Jeanelle?
All right, thanks so much, Scott. Billings students back to school today, and the number of kids heading to class hasn't changed much from last year. Student numbers for School District 2 elementary schools, kindergarten through 5th grade, are totaling nearly 7,500. The middle schools, 6th to 8th grade, are seeing the biggest increase with more than 4,000, and the 3 public high schools are filled with more than 5,500 students. The total students enrolled across the district comes in at 17,100. That's about 100 more in middle schools and down about 100 in high schools. Now that's because of the new Lockwood High School freshman class.
From a community perspective, we want to make sure that our numbers are stable or slightly growing as they impact, our budgets and so on and so forth. And we want to make sure that we have appropriate facilities to support those students, and we do. We're feeling good about where we are with that. There's so much excitement on the first day of school, and everyone's dressed to the nines, and it's really exciting.
And of course, Greg Upham says the enrollment numbers will change with families moving in and out of Billings throughout the school year. And since it was the first day of school, we thought who better to chat with some new students than our own kid at heart, Rob Griggs. Rob was over at McKinley School this afternoon when the bell rang.
First day of school, McKinley. The kids are getting out of school. The parents have been waiting in the gallery now for a good 3 hours, like we all do as parents on that first day of school. And this is our McKinley crop of first graders on the way out. Hi there. Okay, come on over here and look at the camera there. What's your first name?
Haven.
Haven. What did you do today?
We got to do water paint, and our name was on the background with our number, and we had to paint the whole thing, and then our name showed up.
Okay, what'd you have for lunch?
Pizza.
What is your favorite part about school today, Aaliyah?
The water paint and pizza.
Ace, anything else other than watercolors and paint?
Lunch. Alice.
Alice, high five. First name?
Robin.
High five. So, Lauren, what grade are you in?
3rd.
Okay, did they give you a locker combination?
No.
Okay, that's good, because if you get a locker combination, write it down and put it in a security box, because when you're 40, you'll have a dream that you've forgotten it.
Okay.
Okay, all right. You did great. Thank you so much. What's your favorite subject?
Math.
Oh, you're a math person, huh? Mm-hmm. What's the square root of 9? I don't know either. I just wanted to see if you knew, okay? I think it's 3. So you are clearly dressed like one of the coolest kids I've seen so far at school. Is this a brand new outfit that you've been saving for the first day?
Yes.
All right. And the shoes are brand spanking new?
Yes.
Do you have another brand new outfit for tomorrow?
Yes.
Okay.
No.
No. Okay, so you're going to start recycling, right?
I don't know.
What is your first name?
Sky.
Sky, that's a beautiful name. What were you named after?
The sky.
The Sky. Well, I was just wondering if that was the case. Who's your teacher?
Miss. I kind of forgot her name.
Okay, it's pretty early. You'll have it probably down by tomorrow, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Emmett, what grade are you in?
Nothing.
You're not in a nothing grade? Kindergarten. So in kindergarten, that's something. Okay, now you ready to help me out, Emmett? I want you to say, let's toss it back to the desk.
Let's toss it back to the desk.
Better than me.
All right, thanks so much, Rob. And of course, all of us here at Q2 wish all of our students across our region a great school year. Well, in other news tonight, we are learning more about dangerous levels of algae bloom found in Lake Elmo this week. Now, so far, there are no reported cases of dogs sickened by the water, but officials are still issuing caution as sometimes symptoms can show up days later. The Montana Department of Environmental Quality issued the warning on Tuesday night, and now signs alerting folks are posted up in the area. With school in session, the lake was pretty bare of visitors today. Area vets say they're fielding a lot of questions from pet owners and beachgoers like Katina Stanford and her daughters decided to stay on shore.
I mean, the safest bet is just to play on shore. I mean, we don't walk around with chemical testing kits to test water when we take our dogs places. We just kind of take it for granted. But if somebody gives you that kind of warning, take heed to it and stay out of it. That's the best advice anybody can give.
Now, we spoke with officials with Best Friends Animal Hospital in the Billings Heights who say dog owners should be sure to wash their dog's coat after swimming and watch for any signs of toxins. Now, sometimes bacteria can impact an animal's liver slowly. Other times the symptoms involve seizures and salivation. Well, Chief Forecaster Bob McGuire joining us now. Bob, it looks and feels like rain out there, but something else came across the radar today, and it was a little more alive than rain clouds.
It was, well, just call it what it is, just gross. What we're talking about, well, I came to work at 1 o'clock this afternoon, and I'm looking at the radar, and you can see this is what it looked like. This is that thing from 1 o'clock this afternoon. You can see all the rain out in western Montana. You can see that low pressure cell, the jet stream, but look at all that stuff around the Billings area. At 1 o'clock, there were no showers over in the Billings area. I just drove through the area. So I called the weather service. What do you guys think this is? Some sort of atmospheric phenomenon, like a temperature inversion? I said, no, we don't have any of those. What we think it is insects and maybe grasshoppers. Have you seen any grasshoppers around your place? That's what that return is. They're all around the Billings area, and then they kind of dissipate, and then they come back a little bit later on, but that's what they're saying on the radar. We have grasshoppers today, but we also have a chance for some thunder showers a little later tonight. We'll chat more about that in a few more minutes.
All right, thanks so much, Bob. Well, a number of golf tournaments raising funds for the Billings Clinic kicked off last week. I was lucky enough to take part last Friday in Laurel, and Q2's Russ Riesinger is in Sheridan today hitting balls at the Powderhorn. Russ.
That's right, I am skipping work today to play golf, and it's all for a good cause. It's part of the Billings Clinic Classic. Been doing this since 1983 and have raised millions of dollars to advance health care in our region. I'm joined now by Eileen McDonald. She's the chair for this year's Classic. And Eileen, tell me why this is so important.
This is so important to support this cause because mental illness affects so many people's lives in our community. And this year's initiative is raising money to build the sustainability fund for the psychiatric residency program, the first in the state of Montana, but also servicing Wyoming and many of our other areas in the region.
And tell us about the plans for that.
Well, we have 3 residents that will be coming in starting in 2020, and we're just very excited to have them come into Montana from University of Washington, and we're partnering with them for this program.
Of course, this is one of 4 golf tournaments going on. Got the street party coming up on Saturday as well, so a lot of exciting things to come.
A lot of exciting things are happening regarding the Classic. So we're very excited to have the golf tournament here today at the Powderhorn. We've got Briarwood and Laurel tomorrow, and then of course the main Classic party, street party on Saturday night. So
right.
We're very excited.
Looking forward to it all. I got to get back out tearing up this beautiful golf course. I'll send it back to you now in the studio.
All right, thanks so much, Russ. Now there's more news from across our state on tonight's MTN 9 o'clock news. Montana State University now studying new ways to protect communities and homes from wildfires. We'll have the story and details tonight at 9 on the CW. But first, here on the Q2 530 News, we all want to go to Hawaii, but what if you can't make it? There's a new restaurant coming to Billings to take your taste buds there. And in sports, this is your weekend. If you like dirt track racing, Scott fills us in on the world of outlaws.
You're watching MTN News with Jeanelle Slade and Russ Riesinger. Storm Tracker weather with Bob McGuire. And sports with Scott Green. This is the 530 News on Q2, Montana's news leader.